Hey everyone, D3 here from BrightIdeasScouting.com. It's another Scouting in the Park, but tonight we are scouting in the studio because I want to give you a great new resource that has recently been updated. I know a lot of us go to scouting.org to get information, but it's very confusing. There's a lot of navigation. It's hard to find exactly what you need. And so there's a new site called Cubscouts.org. And as you can see here, this is a great new website. It matches the marketing and branding of the scoutingwire.com website. As you can see in the upper right hand corner, they have links to all of their different social media outlets: Instagram, Flickr, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, so if you're on any of those. But what I really like and wanted to help spotlight is the new learning library. Now in here, this is going to help you plan and organize things. And so as you can see right here, there is Den Leader resources, Cubmaster resources coming soon, Chartered Rep coming soon, Committee, and Parent. So let's just kind of dive a little bit quickly into the Den Leader resources and see what that looks like. And so you can see instantly on the left hand side of the navigation, they've got all of the different ranks. So if I was a Den Leader and say I was going to be a bear Den Leader, I can click on that. It's going to show me a picture of the book. It's going to show me the picture of the Den Leader resource guide. It's going to tell me a little bit about that this is a boy who is 9 years old or is in the 3rd grade, is a bear, and his adventures are found in the Bear Handbook. And so as we go through the high level on this right hand side, it talks about all the new adventures. If you remember from previous Scouting in the Parks, there are 7 adventures that need to be completed, 6 of which are required. We see those here, and then there's also 1 elective as well. And so just some very nice information about this. Here's a link to all those different electives and required. But what I like is on the left hand side, if I were a Den Leader, especially a brand new Den Leader, you can click on the Your First Den Meeting, and that's going to bring you to your first Den meeting with some information. Now for some of you, you're like, hey, this looks awfully familiar, especially if we go to planning the Den outings. Den outings. This page looks awfully familiar and stuff. And so that's because they've taken the Den Leader resource guide, which I have recommended in the past that you buy and have an access to. But if you need an online resource, or if you don't have your Den Leader guide in front of you, here it is in digital form, and you can download the page. So if we were to take a look at, say, the Bear Claws as a required adventure, we can click on that. It's going to give us the rationale, the takeaways. This is straight out of the Den Leader Handbook. They give you notes. Here's everything you need for meeting 1 and meeting 2. And if we remember, there are 3 meetings to an adventure. And so everything that you need is right here online. This would be great just as a resource, especially if you have an assistant Den Leader to use that. I'm still going to highly recommend that you get the printed version of the Den Leader resource so that you can take notes and you'll be able to see things in a much clearer form than everything that's online. But what I like is they've taken that entire resource and they've put it online here. So if I'm going to be helping out with my son who's in Weeblos, and let's just even go there, and my Den Leader calls up and says, hey D3, can you do a couple things in the 2nd meeting on the first responder? I can click on Weeblos, I can click on first responder, and I can say, well, let me just go right down to meeting 2. Let me see, we've got our gathering, our opening, our talk time, some role playing. Oh yeah, everything I need is right there. Here are the resources. Absolutely, I've got this in the bag. I can easily help out our Den Leader and stuff right here. And I can print out what I need to be an assistant and to help. And I don't need to worry about buying the book or anything. So for those packs that are light on funds, this is a great resource. It's exactly the same thing as the Den Leader resource guide. But I'd still, for those packs that can afford it, would highly still recommend getting the printed version so you've got everything. You can add notes, as we talked about, start, stop, and continue, and then you can easily pass that on to next year's leader as well. But still, a great new resource. I love this learning library. It's great to work with, and you'll be able to see new stuff for Cubmasters and all the other things coming soon. They also have a blog as well, and so they've got all sorts of stuff that they publish, give or take about once a week, maybe more come fall when things get rolling. But certainly a nice supplemental resource specifically for Cub Scouts. So once again, check out Cub Scouts, that's plural, with an S at the end, .org, and take a look at the Learning Library, and take a look at the blog when you've got a chance. So until tomorrow, when we meet again in the park, learn everything you can, share everything you know, live the Scout Oath and Scout Law, and I'll see you tomorrow